Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans everywhere, all over the world, from Algeria to Zimbabwe. Yeah, that's from A to Z. Well, it's week 7. We are previewing week 7 here on the Amazing Grace Sports Network. Week 7 in the NFL. What have we learned? Well, the Giants look for real. The Jets are surprising. The Atlanta Falcons look for real. So let's start off. The games are going to start on Sunday, and we're going to begin with the Baltimore Ravens playing the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns are traveling. Yes, they're traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Both teams are coming off a loss. The Browns got Tootsie Rolled. That's what their uniforms look like anyway. They got Tootsie Rolled by the New England Patriots last week. I think it was like 35-9. And the Ravens, they lost to the Giants. So both teams are coming off a loss. But I'm looking at the Ravens to go in there and take care of business. Actually, they're going to be at home, so they should be able to take care of business at home. Take the 3-point advantage that comes with the Ravens. And, well, they're playing the Browns anyway. So, okay, it just should be the Ravens. We'll leave it at that. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going into Carolina to take on the Panthers. It couldn't be at a better time. Not for the Bucs. I mean, they lost to the Steelers last week. I think they lost 12-9. What was it, 16 whatever it was. It was terrible. They lost. They looked like crap. And now they get to play the Carolina Panthers. Well, Carolina, of course, they lost. But also they lost their head coach the week before. And rumors are that Christian McCaffrey, their star running back, just got traded to San Francisco. So he won't be playing in this game. And for the Bucs, that is like a dream come true. The defense should be able to stop somebody running, that is. And maybe the offense can score. Maybe Tom Brady's receivers, those old guys and injured guys that he's had to work with this year, can finally get open and catch some touchdown passes. Well, the amazing Atlanta Falcons, next game, this is game number 3, the amazing Atlanta Falcons are going into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Now, Cincinnati is a known commodity. They grind. But Atlanta is the new kid on the block, and they're showing that they mean business. Their quarterback, Mariota, is running and throwing the ball like a seasoned vet. He's hitting people on a dime. He's sprinting out of that pocket. So Marcus Mariota has gone from being a first-round bust, I think about 5 years ago, to being one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And if Cincinnati's not careful, Atlanta's going to win, and I'm taking Atlanta to win. So this is going to be my upset game. Even though they are playing in Cincinnati, I'm taking Atlanta to surprise the Bengals. The Detroit Lions. Yes, our Detroit Lions, your Detroit Lions, everybody's Detroit Lions. The Turkey Day Detroit Lions are back in action. That's right. But nobody missed them last week, so it doesn't really matter. That being said, the Lions are back in action. And guess who they're playing? They're playing another America's team. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dallas, they lost last week to the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody expected that except Dallas. Dallas thought they were going to beat the Eagles. As a matter of fact, Dallas did have a chance to beat the Eagles, but they made too many mistakes, as usual. But Dallas should be happy this week because they can get back in the win column because they are playing the Detroit Lions, which is almost a guaranteed win for any team that plays them. Detroit got shut out like 29-0 against New England on a third-string quarterback who had a week to prepare. Well, that pretty much says it all. I don't expect Detroit to do anything special. I don't think they're going to win. Matter of fact, I would bet my house on it if I was a betting man that Detroit's not going to win. But I always hope Detroit does well. I wish I could say that I thought they had a chance, but no. Let's just be honest. Now, in another game that's being played on Sunday, the surprising New York football giants, they're going to go into Jacksonville and take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course. Now, Jacksonville has Trevor Lawrence as the quarterback. And they won 2 games early this season. And since then, it's been pretty much back to being the Jags. They had a chance to go three games in a row, but since they blew that, it's been pretty much the Jags are back to being the Jags. I think they're losing this team of the last 3 years. Yeah. The Jags are the losingest team in the last 3 years. Then followed by Chicago, then followed by the Jets, then followed by the New York Giants. So the Giants, they were the fourth losingest team over the last 3 years, but now they're 5-1, and they're going to be playing the Jags, and this should be a game for them to go 6-1. I don't see the Jags rising to the occasion. They look like they have hit a level of which they're not going to surpass. They might surprise a team later on in the season and win maybe 1 or 2 more games, but they still haven't got it together. So New York Giants, I'm not going to say bet the house on the Giants, but Daniel Jones has arrived, everybody. Daniel Jones really looks good for the Giants, and that does not bode well for the Jaguars. In a game that everybody's watching with bated breath in anticipation, the Green Bay Packers, after losing to the Giants and the Jets, are not in a great state of mind. And who are they playing? That's a good question. I think we should find out who the Green Bay is playing, because they might be able to win this game. After losing to both the Jets and the Giants. Yes, they'll be playing the Commanders. Now, the Commanders, Washington Commanders, they used to be the Redskins, and they became the Washington football team. The Commanders have done pretty much what we expect them to do. Anything that comes out of Washington is suspect, to say the least. And I think they've won 1 game this year. And I think that might be their limit of what they're going to win this year. So, Green Bay, after losing to the Giants and then the Jets, 2 of the 4 losingest teams in the last 3 years, even though this is a different season, so maybe that doesn't factor in as much, are looking to get into the win column. And they should do it against the Commanders, because the Commanders, they are just what the Packers need right now. They need a win, and they should get it against the Commanders. I got to say this. Don't worry, Green Bay fans. Aaron Rodgers isn't worried. I mean, who do you have in your division? Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota. Those teams are mediocre at best, if we even try to put it that way. The Vikings currently lead, but I don't know if they're going to last. I don't know if they're going to keep that trajectory of going higher and higher. They're going to bottom out, middle out, lose about 2 or 3 games in a row, and you'll be right back in the mix. So Green Bay Packers have hope, and don't worry about it. Moving on from there. The Tennessee Titans. Now, Tennessee. Who's Tennessee playing? Tennessee's going to be playing the Colts. And the Colts are going into Tennessee to play them. So, looking at it this way or that way, whichever way you want to look at it, the Colts have looked dismal at best this year. And Tennessee has looked mediocre at best this year. But they're playing in Tennessee. That being the case, we got to take Tennessee in this one. The Colts have Matt Ryan, and the Titans have Ryan Tannehill. Matt Ryan. Well, we're splitting hairs. But I'm taking Tannehill in this one, and I'm taking Derrick Henry, and I'm taking the Tennessee Titans to bust out and do something spectacular this week against the Colts, which is going to be hard. Truthfully, the Colts have a pretty good defense, but their offense has looked inept. We should say inept. They don't look like they can put it together most of the time. Matt Ryan's out there winging it and trying it, but somehow it's just not getting it done. I don't think it's Ryan's fault as much as they don't have receivers and the running back are not that great. Maybe the offensive line is not that great. They're not giving a lot of protection. So putting it that way, it's not really Matt Ryan's fault per se. He doesn't look great, but he doesn't look terrible. And I'm taking the Titans. I'm taking Ryan Tannehill. We'll just leave it at that. That's going to be my new statement. We'll just leave it at that. The Houston Texans will travel to Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, to take on the Raiders. Now, Houston, can I say anything good about them? Not really, because obviously the management doesn't care. Their quarterback is a guy named Mills, and that pretty much says it all. They don't care. They haven't surrounded him with anybody either. And so because they're just playing out the season to get a high draft pick, so aren't the players. So I'm taking the Raiders in this one. I mean, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams have something to prove. And this is the time that they could prove it against the Houston Texans. So if they can get their act together for this one, they should really blow them out and look good. And now look like they have so far this season, looks like they've lost to did they beat the Cardinals? I think they lost to the Cardinals in the last second too. So Las Vegas has had a tough time this year. Speaking of which, the Cardinals won last night. They beat the Saints on a Thursday night game. And the Saints are in free fall. I might as well get that out because that's part of the week 7 in NFL, the Thursday night game. So the Cardinals played the Saints and they beat them. I think it was 38-34. It's a high scoring game. Kyler Murray got loose and did his thing, and Cardinals won. Want to know any more about that? Okay. Now, the surprisingly juggernaut New York Jets. Ever thought anybody would say that? The juggernaut Jets. We're going to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos, of course. Now, the Jets are 4-2. And the Denver Broncos are, with their $1 million bust baby, Russell Wilson, are 2-4. These two teams are going in opposite directions. East, west, north, or south, whichever way you want to call it. But the Jets are on the rise, and the Broncos have a great fan base. I feel sorry for you guys because there's Bronco fans all over the United States and even in all over parts of the world. But I think from the John Elway era that they gained a lot of attraction and they gained a lot of attention, and people from all over the world started falling in love with the Denver Broncos. I'm sorry to say, this year is not going to be your year, Denver fans. But just remember, okay, you're free agents. I mean, in the sense that nobody's paying you to be loyal to the Denver Broncos. I mean, you're free to go wherever you want. So instead of watching the team lose week after week dismally, which the Broncos have done, you're free to watch another team and find out what winning is like. Because you won't see too much of it this season. Sorry, Broncos fans. I'm going to take the Jets in this one. I'm not saying that that's going to be an upset. I'm not sure anybody. I think the majority of sports fans are taking the Jets, even though the Jets are unknown. We're just taking the Jets based on past performance. But if the Jets go in and beat the Broncos, well, then our thoughts are justified. Let's put it that way. The Los Angeles Chargers will host the Seattle Seahawks. That's right. That's one of the Sunday games at 4 o'clock. Now, the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert have been up and down. And the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith have been, well, they've been up and down. So we have two up and down teams playing one another. So it's a pickup. It's a pick'em game. You take a quarter. I don't even have any money to flip. But if I did, I'd flip it right in front of you. And I'd say heads, I'd take the Chargers, and tails, I'd take the Seahawks. Really? Just watch the game if you're a San Francisco fan or Seattle fan and see who wins. Because most of the rest of the country will not, if we can help it. Being honest, just being honest. Okay. The Kansas City Chiefs will travel to San Francisco to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Chiefs lost a tough one to Buffalo. The Chiefs have met their enemy, and it is the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. The Chiefs have a dynamic team, but Buffalo seems to have a defense that's going to give Kansas City problems for a while. And there's nothing that Patrick Mahomes, seemingly, without Tyreek Hill, can do about it. I talked to a lot of my friends that in Kansas City, because I went to school at University of Missouri in St. Joseph, which is about 40 miles up the road from Kansas City. So I have friends in Kansas City, and they are lamenting the fact that Tyreek Hill is gone, and it has left their offense without that big long play, that guy that can bust open, the guy that couldn't be covered, the guy that Mahomes could always find in this time of need, no matter what. Somehow, it's not going to matter because Kansas City, you're not getting Tyreek Hill back. But you are going to San Francisco to play 49ers, who probably won't have Christian McCaffrey there starting in the game, even though they traded for him. So you might be able to win this one, Kansas City. I'm taking Kansas City because I have friends in Kansas City, and I love the Chiefs, and I think Mahomes is magical. So I'm taking Kansas City in this one. We'll see what happens. Like I said, don't bet the house on it. And whenever I pick a team, definitely. And I'd say that with most people. You don't know what's going to happen in NFL. I mean, we watch these games for entertainment. Hopefully, you're watching for entertainment. You're not putting your life on the line or your house on the line or money that you can't do without on the line when you watch these games, because that's a recipe for disaster. Going on with the next game, the once proud and mighty Pittsburgh Black and Gold Steelers, coming off a home win against Tom Brady in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Now, Pittsburgh won last week. It was an ugly game. They used mostly defense, and it seemed like Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady couldn't figure out a way to get past Pittsburgh's defense. Throw the ball. Well, actually, they did throw the ball. Oh, run the ball. No, they couldn't run the ball either. I think that has a lot to do with just Tampa Bay's offense more than Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh's been croaked a couple of times this year. That being said, Pittsburgh is going down to Miami, but Tua Tags is back. Yes, Tua Tags is back in the lineup. And the Dolphins, after losing 3 in a row, have a glimmer of hope of winning this game. I think they should win it. Pittsburgh, I think they surprised Tampa, but I think Tampa surprised us by being inept as they were. They looked, well, Todd Bowles, what's going on down there in Tampa? What's going on with that offensive line? What's going on with those aging receivers? Where's Julio Jones? Oh, he's out again. Mike Evans is hurt. Chris Godwin's coming off an injury. Your 3 main receivers are old and injured. Jason Light, what would you think of that this year, signing Julio Jones? Well, anyway, we're not talking about Tampa Bay or Tom Brady. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tags is back. I'm looking for Miami to take that game, and that should be that. In the Monday night game, can we get a drum roll, please? I need a drum roll in here. Bing. Yes. In the Monday night game, Monday Night Football, we have the Chicago Bears hosting. No. We have the New England Patriots hosting the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm sure everybody can't wait to see this game, right? I mean, the rest of the country is just sitting on the edge of their seats. They got their popcorn ready for the Chicago Bears versus the New England Patriots. I mean, when the schedule came out, who thought about making this a Monday night game based upon what they saw last year? Did we see anything special out of New England last year or out of the Chicago Bears last year? I didn't. Anyway, that's the Monday night game. Now, the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields, has looked much better. He has. I thought he looked like a deer in headlights his first couple of games. Last year, I thought he looked like roadkill, which is even worse than the deer in headlights. But the kid is finally getting it together. I think he's caught up to the speed of the NFL, which it takes a year to do. And he might be able to do something, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it against New England because New England eats up rookie quarterbacks, especially on mediocre teams. Bailey Zappi, the New England third string starting quarterback, rookie, is looking like he might be a find, though. New England has won 3 in a row with Bailey Zappi. Or maybe it's 2 in a row. Anyway, they've looked good the last 2 weeks. They beat the Detroit Lions, just beat the piss out of them. And then they croaked the Cleveland Browns last week. Just stomped them. The Tootsie Roll. And so New England has looked better over the last 2 weeks with Bailey Zappi at the helm. And he will be starting again. Bill Belichick, unlike Jerry Jones in Dallas, knows to stick with the winning hand. So he's going to stick with Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi looks like he's going to grow in knowledge and in skill and in quarterbacking acumen as he goes forward in the season. And the New England Patriots look like they might be a team to be reckoned with by the end of the season. So the Bears are going to New England. I'm taking New England. I never thought I'd say that with a third string rookie quarterback at the helm, but I'm taking New England. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans all over the world, is the NFL preview for week 7. Now, like I said, don't bet your house on any of these things, okay? Enjoy the games. It's entertainment. And if you're a Bronco fan or Texan fan, remember now, nobody's paying you to say that you're a Bronco fan or a Texas fan. You're free to watch other teams that are doing quite well, such as the Buffalo Bills, such as the Eagles, or any team that is showing a high level of precision here in getting the job done. So I always caution everyone that as you watch these games, use this entertainment and look at improving yourselves. I mean, there's a lot to life. You are the most important person, not your team. With that, I say enjoy the week. I will see you on Sunday for Thank You Sunday, where we don't even talk about football or sports. There's going to be another edition on Saturday because I have to bring everyone up to date on the Major League Baseball going on. The Yankees are playing the Astros and the Phillies are playing the Padres. Whoever saw that happening, that's my point, which is the reason why we're going to talk about it. And listen, like, subscribe, leave comments, because I will answer your comments and I will address the subjects that you want to talk about, be it boxing, tennis, badminton, curling, cricket. I can't wait to do cricket. I really can't wait to do cricket once I understand the game. All right, everybody. I'm just having too much fun here. I want to thank you for showing up. It's been a blast. All the teams, all the NFL teams, and all the players, go, go, go. Have a good time. Hopefully you don't get injured. Enjoy yourselves. Collect your money and go home safely. That's my advice to you, too. Watch the games and go home safely. Goodbye, everybody.